Welcome back to the channel. By now you may or may not have heard about Onewheel's electric board recall. Quite a few news organizations have posted some articles as well. And in truth, I just found out about it myself when I was taking my Onewheel XR model out for a spin just the other day. And I got a notification on the Onewheel app. Here's a pop-up on the app when you launch it, what it looks like. In short, the Consumer Product Safety Commission has issued a formal recall of all the models of the Onewheel electric board from Future Motion. On the CPSC website, they indicate there's approximately 300,000 units which are part of this entire recall. The hazard report relates to the board not balancing the rider if the board exceeds the limits of the board, which results in a crash, or basically a nosedive, as most of us refer to it. And let's be honest, this is no surprise to many of us who've been riding the boards for years. I actually did a video over 5 years ago now, and I'll post that down below in the links if you want to check that out for yourself also. Future Motion's response to the CPSC was to update the firmware on some, not all, Onewheel boards with something called Haptic Buzz. Haptic Buzz, in short, it's an alert riders get. They both hear it and they feel it when they experience certain situations that can result in a crash and pushback, like I was talking about before. And it works in conjunction with the pushback feature. Now, this is what it looks like. I'll put video up that Onewheel had posted. So that's what it is. And if I'm being frank, Future Motion should have implemented this quite a long time ago. Like I said, my original video was over 5 years ago. With that being said, yes, I love the boards. They're a ton of fun. I'm an older rider myself. You know, I've got a few battle scars as well, if you watched the previous video. But I can tell you, or can't tell you, how many people I've actually run into since owning the board who have either been in the hospital or broke bones, collarbones, broke wrists, other injuries. You know, I actually ran into a guy yesterday, the day before making this video I was riding, who was telling me about his hospital visit when he broke his collarbone. Needless to say, I'm not going to get into all the pros and cons of owning a Onewheel or the electric board. I'm just here to let you know what's going on if you own the Onewheel GT, the Pint X, the Pint, or the XR. That's what I have. And that the firmware is coming. The firmware push is already out there for the GT. And I just got off the phone with Future Motion, who makes the Onewheel, and they told me that the firmware updates for the other boards will be coming over the next few weeks as well. I called because I didn't get the firmware update on my XR and thought perhaps something didn't take, but they reassured me that the firmware update is being rolled out to GT board owners first, and then within 6 weeks we'll see actual firmware updates being pushed to the Pint X, the Pint, and the XR models. That's why I didn't see anything being pushed to my XR as of this video upload, which is October 2nd. And I'll also mention, if you own an original Onewheel or the Onewheel Plus, not the XR, the original Onewheel or Onewheel Plus, that we're being told there's no firmware update for those models, and Future Motion's offering a $100 credit toward the purchase of a new board. Personally, I think that's a joke. They're giving people a $100 credit for a recalled product that costs the consumer upwards of $1,400 to begin with. Kind of shame on you, Future Motion. I think that's bad business. But that's it for this video. If you have anything to add to the comments, feel free to do so below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this. Again, I like the board. I don't like what Future Motion is doing a lot of times with their, products, as far as, how they're proactively meeting the consumer with some of their concerns. Personally, I think this new Haptic Buzz feature should have come out a long time ago, although I'm glad it's finally being added. And at the same time, it shouldn't have taken them this long to implement it, especially with all the injuries and a few deaths as well, which I know they're absolutely aware of. This, like I said, this has been going on for years now. So if you own a board, that's the update. That's about it. I hope you got some information out of this that's useful. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.